Hello and welcome to ZTV News. I am your host, James Martin.
And I'm Ethan Harrison. How you doing this week, James?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Here's some announcements for this week. Auditions for the musical Oklahoma are this week. See Mr. Doomkeen or Miss Pike for more information.
Congratulations to all the teachers nominated for Teacher of the Year all across Claremore Public Schools. Let's hear from Mr. Dalfit and Mrs. Njrotc, the 2021 to 2022 Teachers of the Year for Claremore High School.
Well, it's nice. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to compete against the whole district. And obviously, I think, all the candidates are great. We're all, for the most part, we know each other and friendly with each other. But it's a pretty neat opportunity to potentially go on and compete at a bigger level in the state level. Yeah, it's a huge part of who I am and very appreciative of that. I want them to feel welcome. When they come to my class, I don't want them to be apprehensive. I don't want them to be anything other than a place of safety and comfort. Well, I honestly think it feels like it gets a little bit harder the older that you get because you tend to get set in your ways. But the last 2 years, I think it's probably been one of the, I say, for getting people outside of their comfort zone, learning to use technology more. I felt like I was pretty good with technology, and I found out that I wasn't nearly as good as I thought I was at technology, using Google Classroom and figuring out ways to edit things that aren't meant to be edited, and but being able to present stuff remotely and have kids even halfway be interested in it was huge. So, but yeah, you're constantly. I try to stay on top of not just trends, but things that work, and that's pretty much it.
When I found out that I was named Teacher of the Year, I was surprised. I was honored because it is voted on by my peers, the other teachers, and for anyone to see that in you, even when you know that you put a lot of work in, it is just really cool to see other people see that in you. So I'm just terribly honored. What does CPS mean to me? Oh goodness, Claremore means a ton to me. I love the students here. Claremore High School is home to me, and I can't imagine working anywhere else. First of all, for teachers to continue being in the mindset of there's always something new to learn, there's always something new to try. And once you get stagnant as a teacher and you fall into a pattern, that's when you've given up on being better than you are right now. So I always want to try something new. Sometimes it flops, sometimes it works really well. Going to conferences, continuing education, especially math ones. I'm super interested in that, love a good math conference. Yeah, continuing to talk to other teachers because they have great ideas, trying what other people have tried and works. Education-wise, I want my students to know that they can do it. I want my students to be problem solvers, that even if they're handed something they know is challenging, math or otherwise, that they know they can do it. To have a better perspective of themselves, to know they have confidence in their own reasoning. But I also want them to know that they're loved, that they're in a school with teachers and peers that want to see them succeed. And maybe I'm one person that they know is going to be encouraging to them, that cares about what happens to them.
Zebra basketball had their first home game this Tuesday. Here's some of the players giving some insight on the season.
Girls varsity will be scrimmaging against Oologah, Victory Christian, Morris, and Edmond North on Tuesday the 23rd. The teams you'll be playing.
I feel pretty good, except for Edmond North. They're pretty good. Like, they're going to be our biggest competition in the next scrimmage.
What do you guys intend to do to beat them?
Practice hard and become more together as a team. That's our biggest problem right now.
How confident are you guys?
I feel pretty confident that we will play our hardest. I don't know about when, but I'm pretty confident about playing our hardest.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, ladies. Zebra wrestling season is underway. Here is Blake and Kaylin telling us more.
Hello, I'm Cord Dawson. I'm interviewing
Blake Bacon.
for the wrestling team. How's the wrestling team going to be this year?
We're going to be good. We're working hard this year. We've been really getting after it in the wrestling room for before our first duel.
Do you guys think you're going to be able to make state this year?
As a team, yeah, we could. Like I said, we just have to keep getting after it in the wrestling room, and we'll be good, and it'll all work out.
How do you feel about state this year?
I'm really excited. I think a lot of our girls, all of them, have like the opportunity to go that far, and I think it's just about self-discipline, making sure that this semester we're just really putting our all into every practice.
How does it feel to be a senior on the wrestling team?
It feels good. It's my last year, so I'm just trying to take it all in and enjoy the season.
How do you feel about your senior year?
I've just set a lot of really high expectations, so right now I'm just hoping I meet them, and I'm really excited. I mean, it's sad that I'm going to be leaving this program soon, but I think I've loved it here. I just love it.
How's practice, and how hard is it for the freshmen?
Practice for the freshmen, I think, is a little bit of a. It's not really a shocker. They're just learning the new how the practice goes. It's a little bit longer and it's a little tougher. We get after it for I think a little bit longer time than junior high, so I think they're getting used to that. And but I think they're doing well though.
Is it a struggle for the freshmen to be on the wrestling team?
No, not at all. I think a lot of them are excelling and they're doing great jobs, much better than I was when I first got here, and I think they're doing wonderful.
When is your guys' first duel?
Our first duel is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving break against Bartlesville at Bartlesville.
Sweet.
CHS Dance is competing at the state competition this year. We caught up with Emily and Caroline about how they are preparing for the big day.
Hi, my name is Miss Warden and I am the dance coach. One of my favorite things about coaching would be watching the girls set goals for themselves and getting to watch them put in the effort to reach those goals, and the excitement when they actually get to reach those goals as individuals, and then of course when we win goals as a team together. One event that we have coming up is we are going to state on December 18th. It's at the Tulsa Cox Business Center, and we will be competing in 3 categories: kick, mix, and then we'll be defending state champs in the hip hop category. As a whole, I think the dance team is pretty excited and ready to go to state. We do have a couple of really hard weeks before we actually have to compete. Those are going to be some hard practices for the girls, but they've been preparing all year, and I think they've got a good chance, and they're ready to go and show off their dances.
Hi, my name is Emily Wofford, and I'm on the varsity dance team. My favorite thing about being on the dance team is, probably besides learning choreography and learning our themes for state, it would have to be just the family aspect of all the girls and just waking up and just being with them first thing in the morning. What do practices look like? Well, we started back in June and we would go from 7 to 9, but now with football season over, we put all of our focus into these state routines. And I think every lady on this team has given 110%. We're super prepared, we're super ready, super excited, and I think it's time to claim that 3rd state title.
My name is Caroline Cowherd. I'm a senior and I'm on the CHS varsity dance team. Let's see, one thing I would tell future dance members is really just to enjoy it. We have a wonderful team with wonderful girls, and I wouldn't trade my time here for anything, and just hopefully they have fun. Definitely the early morning practices. We get up and are here at 7 in the morning, which doesn't seem early, but it is, and it's a pain, but I love it.
Njrotc recently won a national award for the amount of donors at blood drives at CHS. Here's Colonel Ray and members of the Njrotc sharing about the award and what it means to the program.
Well, for starters, I'm Colonel John Ray, and I'm fairly new to Claremore Schools, and I'm also the Senior Naval Science Instructor for our Junior ROTC. And recently we had a blood drive that had over 100 donors, and all volunteer.
Really just participation from the community and our advertisement campaign that has spread all over the community and has brought a bunch of people together to honor the memory of our former commander and to allow us to be state champions for an indeterminate amount of years.
Okay, so if you're 16, you can still donate. You just need to have a parent or guardian sign the consent form. If you're 17, you don't need any consent form. You can just go ahead and donate. You will need an ID, or you can come and use the yearbook that we'll have upstairs and everything. We can find you. We just have to verify.
So for a annual event or just blood drive that we hold, our goal is 200 donations.
Well, it's been going on here since 2006, and since 2011, we've been 5A state champions for the blood drive. There are weight requirements. If you're 16, it is 125, and if 17 and older, you need to be 110 pounds. So.
Listen, Claremore Claremont Public Schools, it's not just a junior ROTC event. It's a whole community, whole school event, and we celebrate by being successful the next time. But let's bring it together right here. Right here. Come on. On 3 zebras. 1, 2, 3, zebras!
And finally, we sat down with Assistant Principal Lee to talk about the quarantine process at CHS.
So if we get a phone call that someone has tested positive for COVID, we have to ask that student a series of questions to find out when their symptoms maybe first started or when they tested positive. With that information, we then determine when their quarantining starts and then when it can end. So a person that has tested positive for COVID, we will ask them when their first symptom occurred. And then based on their first symptom, that starts the day 1 of their quarantine. They then have to quarantine for 10 days and can come back to school after that. I will also visit with that student and get a list of names that he or she feels like they have come in close contact with. But if you are getting tested because you think you have symptoms, then we're saying, well, go ahead and quarantine like you are positive until we know that you're not. If a family decides that they want to quarantine their kids outside of the 10 days, then those absences would count against them, because by school standards, we're saying, yes, you can be at school. When someone is quarantined, everything just transitions to distance learning. So you would just do your assignments through Google Classroom. And I will say we have quarantined some students before who did not have Wi-Fi at home. And if that happens to be you ever, you're in that situation, the school district does have hotspots that we can give to you for your family to use during that quarantine time.
Well, that's all the news we got for you for this week. We'll see you next week.
Go
Zebras!